Welcome, Earth travelers, to the 24th episode of Astrology Roadshow. I am your host, Laura Kane, and so happy you are tuning in. In this episode, we will explore one of the most major astrological events occurring this spring, and that is planet Jupiter, which changes signs from Taurus and moves into Gemini on May 25th. A shift we are already experiencing now for a while. In fact, the announcement happened when this planet had a conjunction with Uranus at 21 degrees of Taurus last month. We will be going over the Gemini area of your charts to explore the effect it will make to you. It's a powerful and social planet in its influence, expanding on everything it touches. The movement into Gemini will mostly create a more fluid and dynamic simpatico energy as compared to the influence it generated within Taurus. Before we proceed, I also want to say now is a great opportunity to subscribe to this channel. Your viewership is so appreciated, as well as your comments, likes, and shares. So don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button for Astrology Roadshow. Okay. What can we expect from planet Jupiter? The conjunction with Uranus revealed much and may have set a stage, even though this took place within Taurus. Uranus is ruler of another air sign, Aquarius, and it is the higher octave of Mercury, which rules Gemini. Air signs are by nature communicative and rule our thought processes. So this will be a key theme going forward. Mercury is not thought of as a harbinger of chaos in its communication style, and this is in contrast to Uranus, a humanitarian rebel. Gemini is a sign that wants to gather information and communicate that on a local level. Jupiter, ruler of Sagittarius, represents dissemination of philosophy and wisdom on a large scale. Collectively, we have been witnessing one example of how this has been manifesting. Much of this energy is playing out recently on various college campuses, and we can point to the symbolism of all the combined energy as rebellious and humanitarian ideals are being employed on many local levels. As the movement of Jupiter continues through Gemini, we will be focusing more on what they bring together as a team. Jupiter, as ruler of a fire sign, will be free of the earthly terrain of Taurus and now feeding from the oxygen supplied by Gemini air. The sky is the limit. Gemini is versatile, and many ideas will blossom with Jupiter transiting. There will be plenty of energy generated to ensure their symbolism together will come alive. Let's go through the astrological signs and houses of where your Gemini rulership would be positioned to understand what you might expect. If you know your birth time, you are all set. If you do not know your time and therefore house positions, at the very least, you can determine how the aspects between your planets might play out. For example, what planets are natally located in the sign of Gemini the day you were born? Those planets will be directly triggered due to an uplifting conversation about to happen with Jupiter. If you do not have a birth chart, please contact ars@astrologyroadshow.com for any assistance. Here, we will use whole sign house theory to make overview examples easier. So you will need to know your rising sign to correctly place and interpret the house of Gemini on your chart. First house. If you have Gemini rising, it is ruling your first house. Your identity, ego, and the way you uniquely appear and communicate to others is going to be enhanced. The way you speak and gesture is already an attribute you are likely known for, since you are born to get your point across in some fashion. If you are a comedian, play a musical instrument, or sing, or perhaps are a teacher, your quick and versatile methodologies are on display even more. This will all be on steroids now. If you want to put yourself and your persona out there, and I know there are many options spinning around in your head, do it now. and you will be noticed more than ever before. You can now define yourself and your most cherished ideas very successfully. Second house, Taurus rising. You are versatile and clever about your resources, money, and possessions. You may have had a hard time staying in one profession as you make a living, or that is to say, you would much prefer having various sources of income. If you can travel somewhat in your profession, this is a time when that will bring you even greater joy and benefits. Being in communication about valuable ideas can help bring monetary gain now. Take on the big idea and truly work it, because lucky Jupiter traveling this area on your chart will aid you in your efforts. Third house. This is the natural house placement for Gemini. And using whole house theory, it would indicate that you are Aries rising and likely to have a very dynamic personality. Gemini's house rules the areas of local surroundings and travel there, learning and communicating knowledge, neighborhood events, and siblings. All of these topics are now symbolically being emphasized for everyone because of Jupiter's transit. But for a native with this house placement for Gemini, you will truly be a leading example of all things represented by Gemini. For example, it is possible to rise to prominence in your community. Your intellectually communicative abilities will be much enhanced. Short travel experiences will be highlighted, and relationships with siblings should be great or improve greatly. Aries rising personality will not hesitate to make use of this enhanced energy. Fourth house, Pisces rising. This is an area indicative of home base and also represents our core belief system. With Gemini positioned here, the native may be most happy and secure with making changes related to their residence, or perhaps changing up the way the home is decorated or entertaining there. There also may be various belief systems, or perhaps a need to express and have conversation about various and different ideas. Since this placement puts Sagittarius in the 10th house of career and ambition, the 4th house would act as a source for desired achievements. So, communication, short journeys, and a versatile style of conducting business at home, for example, is likely to be very important to accomplish adventurous recognition goals as represented by Sagittarius. 5th house, Aquarius rising. The 5th house is where we shine in our abilities to play, be romantic, and possibly dramatic as well. With Gemini here, you truly have an ability to be versatile and might very well be an actor or an actress. There may be a slightly fickle, but in no way offensive way that you come across. Most likely, you are just open to new experiences for sure. Your ability to express all the different facets of your creativity will be much enhanced. And I predict with Jupiter coursing through this area of your chart, you will have a super fun and creative year ahead. 6th house, Capricorn rising. The 6th house represents health matters, how we go about our job or routine, and how we are of service to others. A Gemini placement provides you with a great interest to learn about healthy routine. It also will provide you with an ability to employ various methods to get your chores or work done. You have various ideas on how to be of service to others and can communicate this effectively. With Jupiter traveling through this area, it will likely add a focus on healthy habits and a boost to your workout routine. It should provide you with great joy as you go about your daily chores. You may be joyfully and innovatively volunteering your services to help others. 7th house, this is the house of relationships, specifically contractual relationships such as marriages or employment contracts. Your most important relationships, in other words. You will be a Sagittarius rising with this placement of Gemini. With your ruling planet of Jupiter in this house for a year, you may decide to get married, or you may solidify a commitment that is very important. be it at work or home. The sign of Gemini here may have the native mostly intellectual and ambivalent about commitment. After all, it is the most versatile sign in the zodiac. But luck will be with you, and this is a fortunate time to take those very serious steps in your life. 8th house, shared resources, death and rebirth, sex, and also secrets are the topics governing this house. Scorpio rules this house, and with this placement of Gemini, it puts Scorpio as the rising sign. So, this native will be very adept at navigating the very deeply profound subject matters. Gemini will bring much versatility to explore the unknown as well as intellect to adapt to the transformative nature of the 8th house. As Jupiter sojourns here, we can expect much luck with handling finances, sexual exploration, and even transformation for the native with this Gemini placement. 9th house, Libra rising. Gemini here is opposite the natural positioning within the 3rd house, but nonetheless, it is similar in that there is a pursuit for intellectual knowledge. Since Jupiter, natural ruler of this house of Sagittarius, is traveling here, it will actually add the component of spiritual wisdom to the mix. So the marriage for both will be complete for the native with this Gemini house placement. The sky is the limit when merging these. This is the house noted for taking it a step further with publishing and long-distance travel as well. These ideals can easily come into play because Jupiter is here. The point is, it may be a time for manifesting culmination of some of these keywords and a great time to make the most of all of it. 10th house. This is the house of ambition and career. With Gemini here, the native will be adept and versatile with regard to career. This would put Virgo on the rise in the 1st house. So there should not be too much jumping around to different career paths during the course of this native's life. However, there may be some changes. And now would be the time to really take stock and shine in the area of recognition. Jupiter will bring much luck to your efforts. And after its sojourn here, the way you are recognized intellectually and communicating your wisdom will likely be very positively improved. 11th house, Leo rising, the house of group associations, friendship, and also humanitarian objectives. Gemini brings much intellectual prowess to these areas when placed here. It is a good time to get more involved in groups where your efforts to assist a cause are highlighted. Friendships should really take a positive turn and bring much joy, and intellectual discussions will be the root of that. The 12th house signifies spirituality and universal connection. Gemini here will enhance the intellectual ability of this native's intuition. The imaginative nature will be enhanced by Jupiter, which easily lends itself to the workings of the 12th house. There may be very likely an uplifting sense of spirituality, which would allow for a real breakthrough of the subconscious. It could very well be a super positive experience all year. And finally, an honorable mention to the lucky Gemini Sun person. Regardless of the house your sun is positioned, the sun is, of course, our main energy source within the natal chart, and yours will be feeling this directly, especially whenever Jupiter is within a 10-degree orb on either side of your sun position. If born in the early degrees of Gemini, you are already benefiting from this. I wish all the very best as you make the most of this benefic planet's transit through your Gemini. Again, thanks for tuning in. I'm here if there are any questions and look forward to your contact. Please be sure to subscribe directly to this channel, Astrology Roadshow, on YouTube, so you won't miss out on important information as we navigate through our universe together. Remember, now is the time to exercise your right to think big and go for it. And as always, looking forward to catching up with you again next episode.